The top 25 virtual wholesaling real estate markets for 2023. Guys, this is a long awaited video. This is a long awaited breakdown. But in this video, we are going to break down my top 25 virtual wholesaling markets. And yes, I know a lot of people watched the one I had last year, the top ones for 2022. But for 2023, I hate to say it, we got a new number one. That's the big part for everyone. We have a new number one in the building. It's going to be huge. It's one that was not even on the 25 last year. We've had some top players move out. We've had some bottom players move up. We've had a lot of mix-ups. 2023 is definitely a year of change. It's a year of a lot of things going crazy. But what I want you to understand here is 2023, if you can master or choose any of these markets, it's going to help you out. It's going to be huge. But this is going to be my top 25 markets for virtual wholesaling. So if you're looking to get in virtual wholesaling real estate, this is going to be a game changer. This is going to be something that's going to really help you out, learn what's a good market, what's a bad market. And I know for a fact there's a couple wholesalers right now watching, and they're not watching because they want to know. They're watching because they're scared I'm going to reveal what markets are top amazing that nobody really knows about. And I got a couple of them. I actually have a couple of them right here. It's pretty scary for some people. So we're going to reveal that today, and we're going to share it all. But guys, I got to unveil what wholesaling real estate's all about. I got to unveil the top markets because I got to give for the people, right? I'm not scared. I'm here to help. Let's break it all down. So before we get into it, guys, you already know what to do. Make sure you guys smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Comment below your questions you have. I'll talk to people in the comments like, hey, Zach, is this a good market? Is this a bad market? I'll talk about it. And without further ado, I want to get into it. I just want to share it with you guys. So let's get into it. Let's do it. But before we do it, cue the intro. Let's get it started. Woo!
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, again, they got go on. Time to wake up, bitch, get up. Get up, get up.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's share it. Let's talk about it. So what we're going to do right now, top 25 virtual markets. Let's go. If you want to know what's the best market for getting into virtual wholesaling real estate from anywhere in the world, we're ready to go, guys. We get people watching from pretty much every country with internet access. So it's pretty cool. We have that following. And I do want to give people a lot of value here and just a lot of help. So without further ado, let's break it down. Let's get into it, and let's start at 25. So let's stop it. Let's go. 25. We have Cato Parish, Louisiana. Cato Parish, Louisiana is a off the beaten path part of Louisiana, right? It's kind of that Shreveport area. It's on the northwest border of pretty much Texas, kind of. It's the Louisiana, Texas. Cato Parish does go all the way up to Arkansas. I was checking there, but it's kind of that Shreveport type area. And we've had a lot of subject to deals this year there. It's pretty interesting. It's a little weird, but it's fascinating for me that we are getting a lot of people from there. And what I could tell you in wholesaling real estate, you're not going to know exactly what the best market is, what's the worst market. But honestly, what I've personally found is when there is a high enough population, and if there is a low enough price where you can get really good discounts and sell to a bunch of buyers, that's the best. And I have not strayed from this. And what I've seen is a lot of markets go out here. They have this thing called, I call it the teenage success factor. And the teenage success factor basically brings, if you could be a teenager and starting out and you're not really that good, but you find out you can do a bunch of wholesaling deals, you don't have to be that good, but just the market's just so good, it kind of picks up for your lack of strength. It works really well. And I've seen a lot of people send us deals over in Cato Parish, a lot of subject twos. And you can wholesale those things, right? And there's just a ton of motivation. Prices are pretty good. And it's not talked about too much. It's like a city in the middle of nowhere. I think the Tabasco sauce is done in Cato Parish, but good market. I love this market. 24. This used to be a lot higher up. It's Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And you're going to get a recurring theme in this video. But sometimes when wholesaling laws get passed, gurus make scary videos saying wholesaling is banned in Oklahoma. But in reality, what I do is I'm like, all right, let's go read the law and let's talk to lawyers and see what the actual laws are. And when I go out here and I read the actual law, in Oklahoma, you can't publicly market for sale an equitable interest in a deal, which that's lawyer talk. Basically, what that means is you can still wholesale. It's legal without a license, but all you can't do is you can't go out here and post it on Facebook or Craigslist and act like a realtor. You can call a cash buyer up privately and market it like that. That's all fine, right? The thing what happened was that law happened. All the gurus spread so much misinformation. Everybody thought wholesaling was banned. But guess what? All the title companies I talked to, all the deals in Oklahoma City, like, no, we read the law. We're actual lawyers at the title company. And they're like, no, you just can't publicly market for sale. And as a title company, we can't really enforce that. So you can wholesale all day. We don't really care. But the thing is, because the gurus made such a big fuss over this, all the virtual wholesalers left. And all the deals were still there. There's just less wholesalers. And it was perfectly legal to wholesale for like a period of, I think, like 1 to 2 years, 2019 to early 2020. One of the best virtual wholesaling markets, hands down, in the entire country. And then people started figuring out it wasn't as bad as the gurus were saying, because Oklahoma is a conservative state. They're not going to pass anything like that too crazy. They're just trying to do a Band-Aid solution. It worked out very fine, right? And so in Oklahoma, it's still very good, but it wasn't as good as it used to be, but it's still very good. Tulsa's a little tougher. Tulsa did not make top 25. That's the only one in Oklahoma, but Tulsa's a second on here. But Oklahoma City, for virtual wholesaling, it works really well. And so I love it. I think it's a good one. And so hands down, I would say it's good. Now, number 23 here, this is a new challenger, but this is Little Rock, Arkansas. Little Rock, Arkansas, the whole Fayetteville, Arkansas area. I can just call it Arkansas in general. Like these cities in Bentonville is good too. You got Walmart there, right? The actual headquarters of Walmart. Little Rock, Arkansas is very good. I could tell you it's a great virtual market. Prices are decently cheap, a little more expensive than usual. But those outskirt areas have a lot cheaper real estate, a lot of good rentals, and a very strong real estate market. So I would say Little Rock is definitely a very underrated one. And I could say there's a lot of great virtual wholesalers doing well there. And it's definitely one not a lot of wholesalers have been thinking about, but it's definitely a great one. Now let's go to some other ones. Some I've said before, but they've kind of made a little bottom of the list here. But still a great market. You know, number 22, Chattanooga. I don't know if I spelled that right, but you already know what I'm talking about. That whole Southeast Tennessee type area. I love it, right? Chattanooga is definitely still an underrated market, still a great virtual wholesaling market. I see so many new wholesalers do very well there virtually, and it's not as complicated as these huge big cities, right? And there's still very nice people, very friendly. Title company's good. Wholesaling laws are easy. Very real estate friendly states like Chattanooga. So definitely a good one you guys should be considering and looking at. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Population's growing, right? They got a pretty good economy going there, and so I still see growth there. Population growth, everything like that. So Chattanooga, Tennessee, definitely something I would be saying. Yeah. So Chattanooga is number 22. So 21. I've said this forever, and I keep saying it. Onslow County, North Carolina is still hands down one of the best places to wholesale, right? It used to be top 10. I kind of revealed that to the world, how good Onslow County was. But, you know, it's gone down a little more saturated, but not as bad. There's like that Jacksonville, North Carolina area. It's a good market. And it's very, very good because not a lot of wholesalers know about it, right? It's actually a decent population, but it's just not talked about. I don't know why, but wholesalers just don't like talking about it. People don't really know. It's not like a huge place in North Carolina, but it's got a huge population, decently for the name recognition, right? And so I would tell people Onslow County, North Carolina, that's definitely a place I'd be going after. And it's definitely one I highly recommend. Now, number 20, this is a new one, but it's not new for many people, but it's Columbus, Ohio. When we're coming into 2023, we're going to need some stronger buyers, right? We're going to need some stronger buyers. We don't care about getting these crazy discounts. We want very, very strong buyers. And so what I could tell you here is Columbus, Ohio is one where it's a little more saturated than the average market per se, but the strength of the buyers in Columbus, Ohio is bar none. So it's definitely one where it might be a little harder to get a deal, but super easy to sell the deal if you obviously get the right discount. So Columbus, Ohio, go after it, keep it up. My people there, decent virtual market if you want to get into that too. So don't have any problems with that one. So that's number 18. So let's talk about number 17 here. And so, sorry, that was 20. Sorry. Number 19, Rochester. Still know how to say it the right way, but New York, kind of the whole upstate Buffalo region, that whole Erie, what is that? On Lake Erie, I think. That whole little area up there. I love that market, kind of by Niagara Falls, all the way east over there. It's a good market. I think from Niagara Falls to Syracuse, those are good markets. And I talked to a lot of newbies, right? The main problem, this is I'll let everybody know, this is a top 5 wholesaling real estate market, a top 5 virtual wholesaling real estate market. But why is it 19? New York has a really weird law sometimes when it comes to real estate. You actually have to have an attorney to use the contracts. You have to actually have attorneys to go sign contracts. Not exactly per se, but there's ways around it, other things you can do. But lawyers really control a lot of the real estate transactions in New York. Not as bad as like Georgia or North Carolina, but like it is as bad. It's worse than Georgia and North Carolina, if that's what you think. No, North Carolina and South Carolina with the attorney states there. But it's the worst one of them all. But if you can get around that little hurdle, that objection, you actually learn, talk to other wholesalers in that market, you'll figure out, I can get over that, right? It's not going to end me too much. So top 5, you can get over that hurdle. If you're local, it's a great market. Highly recommend it. Now, number 18 is one I've been screaming out forever. I've been telling everybody about this market, okay? Florida Panhandle is just, people know about it, but they don't virtually wholesale there, right? And as somebody that has virtually wholesaled a decent amount of deals there, I could tell you it is literally, it's got all the benefits of Alabama for wholesaling. Alabama's a great wholesaling place to go in the right cities, but it's kind of on the water. And so is a rental economy there. There is a whole vacation place there. The whole Destin, Pensacola, Panama City Beach, that area, Florida Panhandle, it's kind of that. It's just where Alabama is. You just go south. That's kind of where it's at. But Florida Panhandle, hands down, underrated market. Never really talked about, but really, I wouldn't say Tallahassee. Anything west of Tallahassee, I would say, in the state of Florida, go after it. Really strong buyers there. Really good discounts. Decent prices. The prices are they're getting a little more expensive there, but it's not too bad. So Florida Panhandle, number 18. You got to love it. It's a great one. A lot of virtual wholesalers do well there. And it's great. A lot of people love it. So number 17, I love this one, Asheville, North Carolina. It's kind of like Knoxville, but it's just way more east. I did a decent amount of deals there. Sellers are pretty easy going there. I love probates there. Asheville, North Carolina. I could tell you still, North Carolina is the best state for wholesaling real estate. There's nothing even close to it. I don't know why, but I think because you have to use attorneys, there's a lot of deals there, but a lot of virtual wholesalers just run from it. And it's not that you just find an attorney, you switch it with a title company, but it gets so many wholesalers virtually so stressed out that they don't want to deal with it. And there's plenty of deals there. And so the whole wholesalers to deals ratio gets thrown off there, which is good on our end. And that's what I do when I look at a really good wholesaling real estate market. I look for how many deals are usually being done in that area and how many wholesalers. Because, for example, Houston, Texas has hands down the most wholesaling deals per month. There's no, there's not even any city closer to it. Like how many wholesaling deals are done per month. But you got to look and you see how many wholesalers are in Houston. The ratio then gets decent, right? It's pretty good for a big city, right? But if I went to a city like, I don't know, I go to, let's do LA. LA probably has as many wholesaling deals as Houston, but the amount of wholesalers there, it's insane. It's stupid. And so the ratio gets thrown off there, right? So 17, Asheville got a good ratio there. 16 is a new one. This is definitely a huge underrated one. Not talked about really at all, but this is one I will reveal. And I actually have talked about this before, but haven't revealed it. But this is Hattiesburg, Mississippi. That's right. Hattiesburg, Mississippi, University of Southern Miss, whatever college that is over there. It's got a college town feel, but still decent population. Great wholesaling. It's a great wholesaling market. Did some virtual deals there. I see a lot of new people doing it there. Don't want to reveal any names, but they're doing well. And so Hattiesburg, Mississippi is underrated by far. Not really talked about too much, but it's a new one. Good population, decent. But the deals are really good there if you can get them. And so Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and about 4 or 5 big wholesalers that, they're under the radar, but they're over 6 figures easily. And they're consistently doing deals there. So Hattiesburg, Mississippi is definitely one I would be looking into. So don't feel like, I have to go to number 1 or 2 or 3 of what Zach says, right? Because that means everyone's going to go to number 1 or 2 or 3 of this list. Some of these lists, like Hattiesburg, don't even think about it, right? Think about it. Might be decent for you. 15, Memphis, Tennessee. Going back here to the strength of buyers, Memphis has one of the biggest institutional buyers in the country. It's just so cheap, and the houses are decent there, right? Obviously, there's rougher pockets of Memphis. Obviously, people from Memphis know that. But there's also just really nice, decent working class places there, right? They're not that bad. So Memphis, Tennessee is definitely one I would highly recommend just because the prices are so cheap. The population's so high enough where I think it works for both people and it works really well. So Memphis, Tennessee, definitely one I would be saying you should be looking at and just be looking into. But Memphis, Tennessee, definitely look into it. Love that market. So 15 there is Memphis. 14, this is a big one, but this is Berks County, Pennsylvania. I can tell you guys, Berks County is so underrated. It is that Reading, Pennsylvania area. There's a lot of wholesaling deals. There's a lot of wholesalers. It's a nice blue collar area per se. But yeah, it's amazing. And nobody in the wholesaling, I'll call it the YouTube industry. I don't know, YouTubers in wholesaling, they never talk about it. They tight-lipped. And the only way I knew about Berks County was one of my really good friends went to college with. He was one of my roommates. Back when I was there for a semester, then I came back, still did school there, but known from way back in the day. He was from Berks County. And when I was cold calling, he's like, you should cold call in Berks County. I'm like, you live in Nowhereville. And I looked into it. I'm like, there's a lot of wholesaling deals being done here. And I only learned about it because of him, because that's where he was from. And the funny part is no wholesaling person ever talks about it. There's one person I know from there that talks about it, but that's it. It's so hush-hush. There's so many deals there. The population's big. They've got decent economic conditions there. And you probably never heard of Berks County, but Berks County, look at the population really quick. I want to confirm it, but that's what I thought. Has a population of 429,000 people. You probably didn't know that. 429,000 people. That's insane. Insane population. And you probably didn't even know about that, right? And so it's just definitely a underrated market, and it's great. So I'll tell you guys, I don't understand why most wholesalers don't look into it. But yeah, housing is huge there. There's a lot of houses there, a lot of wholesaling deals there. So definitely looking at Berks County, Pennsylvania. Number 13 here is a goodie. It's an oldie, but a goodie. But this is Indianapolis, Indiana. Love Indianapolis. Cheap real estate. Great drawing for dollars there. Definitely still underrated. It's just cheap real estate, right? And it's in a strong economy. Love that Indianapolis area. I'll also add on here that Fort Wayne, Indiana yeah, my Fort Wayne people are gonna be upset I said that, but I kind of mix them together. You know, it's hard to only get 25 markets. There's just so many great wholesaling markets. That's why when I get a virtual wholesale, like, Zach, there's no wholesaling markets I can use. I'm like, there's so many of them, right? So I'd add Fort Wayne, Indiana. I think they got like 150,000 population. I love that area too. But my Indianapolis people say, Zach, shut up. Shut up, Zach. Don't talk about this market, right? And now we're going to get into 12. Now we're getting some areas where people are going to get a little more upset at me, like, oh, don't rank this too high. I get people DMing me, Zach, don't rank my market too high. Please, please, please. And I'm like, yours was number 4. Right? And unfortunately, I had some DMs when I announced the video today. They're like, don't talk about this market. And I said, it's number 4, buddy. It's number 4. You're kind of screwed here. Sorry, but like, I got to give the people the truth. I can't hide the information. I'm not a broke wholesaling guru. And they're like, okay, fine. Right. And so let's go to number 12 here. Number 12 here is Huntsville, Alabama. North Alabama region, underrated. I can tell you guys, there's a reason why I chose Huntsville. There's a lot of, I'm just going to say this nicely. I call it the teenage success factor. I know about 2 or 3 kids. Call them kids. Okay. Kids. Right. Yeah. I'm 23. So I'm pretty young too, but like I've been wholesaling 6 years, going on 7 years here, thousands of wholesaling deals. And I'm always in awe when I can find 18 and 19-year-olds that just get started and they don't know what they're doing, but they're in such a good market that they just go crazy, right? And they hustle, right? But there's a couple kids making over 250 grand a year doing assignment fees in Huntsville. I'm like, this is crazy. So Huntsville is definitely underrated. A lot of you guys probably haven't heard of Huntsville, or maybe you have, but like it wasn't on your forefront of your mind when you think of a good virtual wholesaling market, but it definitely is. So Huntsville, Alabama, definitely one I would be recommending here. But yeah, Huntsville, Alabama, it's definitely not really talked about, but yeah, it's a great area. So we got some people living there. So all right, not bad. Number 11, this is Houston, Beaumont. I kind of made them separate last year, but they're so close. Houston, guys, it's just such a great market for finding buyers that if you can find the deal, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? And the amount of deals there, the reason why it's on here, it's the top market for deals per month. Like there's no other city that gets more wholesaling deals. Houston is so spread out too that I don't care how many wholesalers. There's just so many deals. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Harris County is the 4th biggest county in the country. Let's see, cities by population in the USA. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Houston's number 4. Crazy. 2.2 million people in Houston, right? It's massive. Massive. Okay. It is insane. All right. And so I kind of look at metro markets ranked by population in the USA. And I look at the metro market. So it's huge. So I look at the metro statistical areas because that's kind of where the buyers are. Houston's 5, Dallas is 4, then you got Chicago, LA, and New York. But yeah. And so the only one that's decent for wholesaling is number 8, Atlanta 2 on there, but it's not the best compared to other ones. But like Richmond, Beaumont area, that's a good one. Now, number 10, I didn't tell Rick about this. This is between you and me. All right, we're going to keep this on the DL, number 10. All right, this is one where Rick would be very upset I let you know, but honestly, whatever. Number 10 is Port St. Lucie, Florida. That's my actual personal market. I remember wholesaling before I had a YouTube channel here. It was so much easier. Port St. Lucie, Florida's got a population, I think, over 150K. Let's see what the county population. Let's see. Population 343,000. So it's huge. The population is 343,000. You probably have never even heard of it. And it's just an amazing wholesaling market, right? And the reason it's not good by the amount of deals, but guys, my average deal is 35, 40 grand here. Wholesaling, right? And then flipping, it's going to be 50, 60, 70, right? On a wholesale. And then if I do like a big renovation, I'm going to make 80, maybe 100K a deal. Now, the average wholesaler here is going to make 10, 15K a deal. That's bigger than the average market. And the prices are pretty high here in Port St. Lucie. I mean, the average is like 350, 400, but you're buying houses 200, 250. But the reason it used to be top 3 markets in the entire country, but the problem is people figured out where I was and they started going there. And the issue is I'm doing a lot of JV deals in Port St. Lucie, and I'm splitting 30, 40, 50K deals with them. Like they're just all these virtual wholesalers are in PSL. That's what we call it. And I'm splitting huge deals with them. So I, not in good conscience, I would tell people, you know, I do make, I mean, honestly, I think I make less than half of my whole wholesaling money now in my local market. Just the amount of JV deals in here, it doesn't matter, right? And people are like, oh, people are competing against you guys. This is the guru mentality that is going to destroy you. Guys, I make more money by just splitting 50K deals with you all day in Port St. Lucie if you go to me. And that's me doing more deals than ever because I got to pay staff and all this stuff. And so I don't really care. I do so much. It's insane. But I do so much stinking virtual wholesaling deals that I think you guys would rather me just tell you the truth. And the honest truth is number 10 is Port St. Lucie. Yeah, guys, start going there. I don't care. You're not going to beat my competition. And if you do, there's so many deals there, I can't get all of them. And start JVing them with me. Guys, I was almost at the point where I was doing almost half of all my revenue locally on JV deals in my own market. It's insane. And so I'm hopefully by the end of this year, I can do more deals in Port St. Lucie by JV than I can actually do in my own local market. And my acquisitions agents aren't going to be too happy about that. But guys, hey, I make more money, right? And I'm trying to be the person that teaches everyone wholesaling for free. And if you guys send me deals, I'll do well, right? But that's number 10. It's top 10 because it ain't for the faint of heart. Most wholesalers cannot wholesale in Port St. Lucie perfectly. But if you can dial in, and you'll make a lot of money. And that's kind of what I do. But I do more deals virtually wholesaling now than I do in my own local market. I make millions in Port St. Lucie. But the problem is, I don't know how to say this right, millions or more outside. So it's just economies of scale. There's only 343,000 people in my county. So I just make it even more, right? And so, yeah. So I'll talk about number 9, Fresno, California, guys. Fresno, California is the last haven in California of a decent population, which with affordable pricing in California. It's as working class as they get in the valley there. Love Fresno. It's a great market, strong. Got all the Silicon Valley people wanting to get rental properties, all investing in Fresno. Great market. So Fresno, California, number 9 still. So let's get into top 8. So when we're getting spicier. All right, we're getting a little crazier. Getting the water today for this too. All right, let's get into it. Number 8, Dayton, Cincinnati region. That's what I'll probably call it. But Dayton, Ohio. It's a great market, guys. I'm telling you, Dayton, Ohio, hands down one of the best ones in the country. Super cheap, big population, great buyers, great discounts. And you're not going to make 60K on a deal. You just ain't, all right? But you're going to make 10 to 15 on a deal, but you're going to do a lot of volume in Dayton, right? Do a ton of volume in Dayton. So Dayton, Ohio, definitely recommend it. I've been saying it's been top 10 for me forever. And it's not talked about too much either. Kind of weird, but it's not talked about too much. But it's definitely one I do recommend. So it's still a great one. Number 7 here, Detroit, Michigan. I've talked about Detroit, Michigan probably forever. And it's one of our strongest virtual wholesaling markets. And that is probably, I would say, the strongest market if you send a deal to sellmypaper.com, which is my JV thing. Quick plug, sellmypaper.com. If you go there, you can submit your wholesaling real estate deals. And Detroit, we just opened it up because I just had to set up some systems because I don't want to use some of my buyers. Just saying. So we got other people to help us out with it too. But it took me forever for sellmypaper.com, but we just partnered up with the largest wholesaler in Detroit, one of my competition. And we're going to do a lot of deals together with you guys together on it. So it's almost going to guarantee you can sell a deal. Because if I can't sell it and he can't sell it, you ain't going to sell a deal. So probably top wholesaler in Detroit locally. And then you got me, one of the top virtual wholesalers there. It's a great mix. Because I love Detroit so much for a virtual wholesaling city. I got to get out to Detroit. I got to do a meetup there or something. But Detroit, Michigan, do it. So if you go to sellmypaper.com, that's probably one of the best markets to JV a deal, right? So number 6, we got a new player coming in here. got a new player. This is Greenville, South Carolina, and Greenville, North Carolina. Kind of wordplay here, but I'll call them the Greenvilles. Greenville, South Carolina is still one of the best ones out here. But on top of that, Greenville, North Carolina. I was going to put Greenville, North Carolina like number 14 or 15, but I was like, I'll just mix it together, right? Greenville, North Carolina. Everyone knows Greenville, South Carolina, but Greenville, North Carolina. Mr. Beast is there. But so he's got a little economy there, but it's actually where ECU is. So Eastern Carolina University. So it's definitely got that college town. It's got a big population and a nice economy, and not really talk. I didn't even know Greenville, North Carolina was a thing until I played NCAA football like 4 years ago, and I did a dynasty with ECU. I was like, "Where's ECU?" Like, they're Pirates. That's cool. I thought it was cool. I was like, "It's in Greenville, North Carolina." Huh. Right. And that's how I knew about it. But I was like, I should look into that for virtual. And I wasn't really virtual wholesaling too much back then, like not as crazy, but it's just kind of popped in my mind. But yeah, Greenville, North Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina. They're different states, way different markets. But I think either one of them, you're not going to go wrong at all. I don't think it's bad at all. Let's see here. All right, next one here. We have Fayetteville, North Carolina. We call it Cole World. All right, I call it Cole World. That's where J. Cole is from. Love Fayetteville. It's a strong market. It doesn't really move from the top five. It's solid. It's not the best one in the entire country, but it's up there. And before I talked about it, it was an unknown market. Nobody ever talked about it. The only person that talked about J. Cole, he always said the Ville, and no one knew where the Ville was. I knew the Ville was. I knew Fayetteville. But guys, J. Cole, he tapped on the Ville. I was like, where's the Ville? And I look it up. I'm like, Fayetteville. Let's look into it. I'm like, and I started reading up on J. Cole. I'm like, okay, military family. So military base. There's one of the biggest military bases in the country is in Fayetteville. It's a good area for wholesaling. I figured that out pretty quick. And so Fayetteville, North Carolina, I can tell y'all right now, hands down, top 5 market. It's probably the best creative financing market in the country by far. But Fayetteville, North Carolina, top 5 wholesaling market, virtual wholesaling. If you live anywhere near there, go after it. I've exhausted myself talking. I've talked about it forever. Just go after it. And number 4 here. This is a new player in the block, Birmingham, Alabama. All right, guys, that teenage success factor is going ham. All right, there's guys from California. There's people out here from, I know some guys from LA, California, like 2 or 3, and then some New Yorkers that are doing really well in Birmingham. There's one guy, I don't reveal any names. He was an ex-NFL player. I think he made a quick 250, 300 in Birmingham or Birmingham and Huntsville. He did both of them together, but he was clearing a bunch of money, and he kind of had that mindset to be an NFL player. So I don't reveal his name, but I think he's watching probably. So shout out to him. But I started looking at more kids, and they started doing deals. Saying, "Oh, thanks, Zach. Help me with my first deal." And they don't post in the group. They send me DMs. And I'm like, whoa, Birmingham. I'm like, okay. It's a good market. And so did some virtual wholesaling deals there. And so what I could tell you is Birmingham, Alabama, top 4 now. It's number 4. It's a new player on the block, and fascinating, right? And so love Birmingham out here. But yeah, number 3. This is Newport News, Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads area. I've talked about this one forever. It used to be number 3 and number 2 and 1 last year. We're always interchanging, right? But Newport News, Virginia Beach area. Love this area. Underrated still to this day. To this day. Was a Deontay Wilder meme. To this day, still one of the best. Top 3. Number 2 here. We're sticking in Virginia. Richmond, Virginia. This was number 1 for so long. But I got so many wholesalers coming in here. I'm saturating it. I know, I'm sorry, but it was number 1 for a while. Now it's number 2. And so hopefully the Richmond people be like, okay, he's not putting it number 1. Maybe it's going to make it a little easier for me. But Richmond, Virginia, guys, powerful. The reason why it works so well there, it's kind of like Virginia Beach to a point too, but mostly Richmond, Virginia so well is because it's very historical. It's been there forever. And really, north of it's what we call the DMV area, right? So DMV. So DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Arlington, you kind of got Hagerstown there if you want. Washington, D.C., that whole area. It is so expensive there. So expensive. And you go a couple hours south, you're in Richmond, it's cheap, right? Relatively cheap. Great economy. They got Virginia VCU there. So they got a nice college there. Great landlord-friendly place. Richmond, Virginia. It used to be number one forever. But now we got a new player on the block. All right. We got a new number one here. All right. And if some people were hearing some of the hints I gave earlier, they'll know what's number one. So I want you to guess what number one is. I want people in the comments to guess what the number one market is. I'm just curious. I want to see who gets it. All right. And I got people in the back chat want to do the one-on-one. So if you go in the private chat, if you're in the one-on-one and guess it, whoever guessed it first, I'll put them on first. Okay. You got to give the city and the state. All right. You're doing the private chat, do the one-on-ones, and you want to win out. Put in the private chat what you think is the number one, which is number one, and I'll give you the winner. It's a city. It is a city, and then put city-state. I don't know if someone's going to guess it right. I really don't think so. I think someone will, but I'm not seeing it right. So let's see what we got. We got Macon, no. Denver, no. San Antonio, no. Close? No, I'm just kidding. We got some decent tries here. I'm trying to see if it's not in the comments yet. It's kind of funny. I don't see it. This is really going to throw people off. This is kind of funny. We're not seeing it, right? St. Louis seems decent. No. Definitely not Phoenix. No. Okay. Kansas City, no. I don't see it. It's kind of funny, but I'm just going to reveal it because I don't think anyone's guessing it right. And the reason why no one's guessing it right is because no one's even thinking about this. And this is the funniest part. It's amazing. I got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people watching this. And I'll have thousands of people watching this. I can't get one right guess. All right, we got it. We got one good guess on here. All right, we got one good guess. One person got it right. So let's reveal it. All right, let's reveal this right now and get it going. I don't want to drum roll, please. So out of all of them, we got one good guess. That's insane. But let's talk about it. Number one, Louisville, Kentucky. I can tell you guys, Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville. All right, got to say the word right. Got to put respect on Louisville. Louisville, Kentucky will be the number one virtual wholesaling market for 2023. It will be potentially probably number one for 2024 also. Louisville, Kentucky is hands down going to be one of the best virtual wholesaling markets. And this is something I put my name on. All right. And I've done some very careful research on this. And let's talk about this. Okay. Number one, Louisville, Kentucky is already a top 10 virtual wholesaling market. But there was one thing that brought Louisville, Kentucky from 10 to 1. One clear thing. And one thing that I learned from the past that is going to help me predict the future. So remember when I talked about Oklahoma City before, where they passed a law about wholesaling and all the gurus went crazy, say it was banned and all this crazy stuff. And then eventually everyone figured out they actually read the real law. It wasn't really banned, but they stopped like a couple things. But all the wholesalers left. And that just left like no saturation in that market and all the wholesaling deals were there. Same exact thing in Louisville. So the state of Kentucky, which is a conservative state, since they are a conservative state, they will not ban wholesaling. Then they can't ban wholesaling. First of all, you can wholesale in all 50 states legally. I want everyone to know that. The assignment of contract has not been banned. There are 2 states right now that have something that you can't. You have to be a licensed realtor to have contracts, but there are ways around that. That's Maryland and Illinois. But the Maryland one hasn't passed. They just have it up there. That hasn't been passed a vote, but Illinois the only one that does that. And they're very regulatory heavy states. Heck, even Maryland, they just passed in Prince George's County a 3% rent cap. So they're very regulatory heavy. But Kentucky is not like that, right? Now, the NAR has been paying millions of dollars to try to regulate wholesaling. And the only thing they can get passed is to stop certain parts of wholesaling. So Kentucky had something called HB 62. And HB62, which I have made a full, I think 40 minute breakdown on the Zach Ginn YouTube channel. I did that earlier yesterday. And so we have it all done. We're going to do I don't want to rush a video, something like that. We'll talk about a little bit about tomorrow, but I had it edited perfectly so you know how to do it the right way, because I knew I was going to make this number one. But what it basically states is you cannot advertise your equitable interest in a piece of real estate unless you're a real estate broker, right? They call it brokering real estate if you don't. Now, every guru is going to run with that and just go nuts. They're going to go, wholesaling is banned. It's over. Pay me up. Give me money. I'll teach you what to do, right? And talk to a bunch of lawyers, talk to a bunch of legal people, talk to a bunch of wholesalers in Kentucky, and there's about 5 easy ways to get around it, like 5 really easy ways. Now, I'll give you one. Double closing is probably the best one on there. And then there are intention ways you can actually get around and still wholesale without a license there or without double closing. And it's such a stupid thing because it's kind of like building a wall and then having like holes. And then it's like having a rope over the wall and you can just climb over it. And that's kind of what Kentucky did, right? They made it all scary, but you can just climb over the fence, right? Like it's not the end's legal to climb over the fence. They give you stairs to climb over the fence, right? And so basically you just can't advertise your actual interest in a deal. And they made it really vague and it won't be enforced at all, but it's kind of funny. But yeah, wholesale. And then in that law, they said you could get a civil penalty if you do it the wrong way. And every guru is going to say, oh, you can get banned. You're going to go to jail. No, you ain't going to jail for it, right? But I can tell you for Louisville, Kentucky, you just get around it all day, every day, easily. Talk to a title company, talk to lawyers at the title company. They'll give you the way around it. But double closing is probably going to be the simplest way to do it. Actually, no, there's 3 or 4 more on there because what constitutes advertising? Because if you have a partner on it and you do mention that, hey, can you give me a quote on this house if you're going to buy it? And you're not advertising it's for sale. You're just saying that, right? You can kind of get around that too. So what Louisville's doing, they made a law trying to stop advertising, but they couldn't stop you from wholesaling real estate without a license. It's unconstitutional, and Kentucky will never allow that, right? But the problem is gurus are going to take that for their own spin. Maybe get you to sign up for some realtor thing, and they make money off of you being a realtor because it costs thousands and thousands of dollars to be a realtor every year, and they want to make a cut off of it, and they want to control you and be your broker and do a lot of fun stuff. I don't like that. I don't do that, right? There's too much regulatory stuff, and you can get your assignment fee taken away for being a realtor, so don't do that. But I would say just go around it. But what I mean here is the gurus probably next week or 2, maybe 3 weeks. Actually, no, all the gurus are watching. Hi, gurus. They're all watching this video. They're looking up HB62 because they don't know the laws and they don't know what they're doing. But now they're going to start. They're writing out their scripts. You know, they're writing out what they're going to say to make it scary and sell a course for you, right? But you know, they're going to try to make it all scary. And what they're going to do is going to make videos, and then it's going to scare everybody off, and no one's going to wholesale in Louisville. And if you know how to actually read the law like a smart person, and you do the right thing, and you talk to title companies, you do everything legit, it's probably one of the best wholesaling markets, hands down, because everyone's going to scatter, and there's just going to be still as many great Louisville wholesaling deals there. We're just without the competition. There's already so many wholesaling deals being done there that if the competition just gets away, it's going to be even easier for you. So Louisville, Kentucky, hands down, number 1. And they got a rapper now. They got Jack Harlow. So, and ESTG. There's only 2 rappers I know out of Louisville. But they have rappers now. They have one of the best boxers of all time. It's a renaissance there for Louisville right now. But yeah. But seriously, the gurus are going to try to stop you from wholesaling there. It's actually kind of funny. But what I can tell you is it's not that bad. It's easy to get around that, right? And it's kind of funny. But that's it, guys. Louisville, Kentucky, number 1. So I might get in some trouble for that, but it's the absolute truth. But that is my top 25 virtual wholesaling markets. I stick by my word here, and it's great. And so what I can tell you is who guessed that right? Let's see who guessed that one right. Matt Barry guessed it right. So shout out to Matt. He's the only guy that guessed it right. I'm actually kind of shocked. But yeah. Elijah, where do you get all the info? Where do you get that info? I got info on populations from just looking it up. So yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So guys, I want to answer some questions and see how I can help the people out. But yeah, what's the bill? I'll pop up. Actually, I'll just pop up the bill for you right here. HB62. La, 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 la. Let's look it up. All right. I did a whole breakdown on this, and we'll talk about it a little later. Here it is. Do I have the bill? Current. All right. I'll show you really quick then. All right. This is what the bill looks like, just so people can see it. But it's pretty stupid, just being honest. So it's basically saying that brokering is this, this, and this, which is, so brokering is you get a fee for buying, selling, negotiating real estate, which I do agree that is what it is. That is the definition of brokering. I think real estate brokers should do fine with that, right? But the thing is, and including advertising for sale and equitable interest in a contract for the purchase of real property between an owner and purchaser, right? Okay. So here's the thing here. And the gurus are going to do one thing. I'm going to do another thing. And this is what the truth is. All right. Okay. Wait a second. Huh. It says if I get a commission, what does commission mean? Oh, okay. That's what commission means. What does real estate mean? In the law, it gives you the definition of all these terms, right? National Accredited Institute. They give you all this stuff, right? But is there a definition for advertising? Right? No. Right? Advertising. There's nothing on this law about advertising. So they made this advertise for sale. And so the only definition we get on this law is advertise for sale. And so what does advertise mean? So if I go to the Webster's definition of advertise, if I go to the actual definition of advertising, right, I'm using English. So I go to Google. All right. So I guess Google will be the best one for it. What is advertising? Advertising is describe or draw attention to a product, service, or event in a public medium in order to promote it, right? Okay. To make a fact known, right? So there's two definitions of advertising. Do I make it known that this is a property that is for sale? Or am I just, is advertising me drawing attention in a public medium? We don't know, right? The realtor definition in Kentucky is just to make known, but it's also to make known that it is for sale. But that's the definition if you're a realtor advertising. Now, this law is for people that are not realtors, so we have no definition of that. And so my only guess is advertising is if I start using it on a public medium. But the problem is I get no definition. They make it impossible to understand what the depth of it on there, right? And I break through, it says you get civil penalties if you don't, but like they don't explain anything. They don't explain one thing. Includes the advertising for sale. So if I advertise for sale an equitable interest in a contract between a property owner and a purchaser, that's not good too, right? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is the funniest part. It's like there's so many ways to go around this, right? So it's like, first of all, what if I don't have the property under contract? What if somebody I know tells a cash buyer about the deal? That's not advertising. Or what if a cash buyer comes to me and says, hey, I'm looking to buy some properties. Oh, you know, I got a property under contract I'm buying. And then they're like, okay, so you're buying this house? Yeah. Well, can I partner up with you on this one? Let's do it together. I'm like, oh, sure. I'm just going to sign it to you. Okay. Like that actually goes around that law. And so this whole Kentucky bill is so crazy, but like they make it so crazy. And so the guru is going to say wholesaling in my definition, and they're not lawyers, right? They're realtors. They want to do their little realtor spiel, right? But it's like, this law is so easy to go around because you just double close, you do all these things, but it's the advertising. It's not the assignment of contract. And so one thing I want you to understand is I have a screenshot on here, and I do want to talk about this screenshot. All right, this is the biggest pet peeve I have in the wholesaling real estate community. Okay, so let's go here. HB62. All right. Just show you really quick. Let's see. I'm trying to break this down. All right. I don't see it on here, but I have the screenshot somewhere else. But basically what someone asked, I think they deleted it, but they literally asked this, right? Oh, they asked about it was this funny thing. It was like, what's going on with this Kentucky bill? They're banning wholesaling. I'm like, what? That's not the bill. Like, I just showed you the bill says, right? And so it's ridiculous. So Maryland's trying to, yes, they are trying to pass a bill that you have to have a license to offer more than 2 properties or put 2 houses under contract without a license. And I've read it. It's very vague on purpose. And there are a couple ways to do it. Now, obviously, possibly in that market, you should get a license, but honestly, there are ways around it. And I'm talking to my lawyers right now on what I can or can't say, because that law is it's written very, very weirdly that I don't want to go tell people to do something that's technically illegal. So I'm working with lawyers there, but there are theoretical examples of that Maryland law, which is always very interesting. Let me go pop up that bill. I'll pop up and show you that bill too. But that bill's in Maryland, and Maryland's literally there as we speak are writing laws to stop people from renting properties for too much, the actual market value. And I always think it's funny when they do that. But let's see where that publication is on that one. Hold on. Let's pop it up. Let's see. And so this is what the bill says from Maryland. I'll show you guys. This one's a lot trickier. This is not the Kentucky bill, all right? For it's an act. The purpose of altering the definition to provide real estate brokering services to include engaging the business of real estate wholesaling to require an individual engages in real estate to be licensed relating to the provision. And so let's break down the title. For considering selling, buying, exchanging real estate, or collecting rent, right? So the first one is, you providing a service for it? No. Considering assisting another person to locate, right? Engaging in regular business, but regardless whether the activity is engaged in for another person, engaged in the buying or selling, offering to buy or sell or to of real estate, or otherwise dealing in contracts, including assignable contracts for real estate or options on real estate, 2 or more occasions in a 12-month period. So there's a lot of ways to go around that. But it's written so vaguely that for most cases in this law, it's insane. But for most cases, you can get around by just double closing. And I'm going, no, you can't double. It says 2 occasions. I can tell you right now. All right. I can tell you right now that this law, it does not have to do with that, because I know people in Maryland that will FSBO. All right. They will offer to sell their house twice, or some guys looking to buy a FSBO and they're looking to buy 2 houses on a for sale by owner because they can't get one. They want to buy their own house. Is that person breaking that law? They're going to make a provision. If you're buying a house, then no, you can't do it, right? And so Illinois had this big problem too. Illinois had the same law. And I'm just going to tell you something. It's probably not going to be the best thing for me to say. Some gurus are going to be angry at me, but it's true. If I am a guy and I own a Chicago pizza joint, and I'm doing very well with my Chicago pizza joint, I try to buy, let's do leasing. Leasing's even easier. I lease out my own personal house by myself with this other guy. I sign a lease. That's engaging, number 1. Number 2, I sign a lease for my pizza place. My pizza shop's doing well. I have 2 leases for my pizza shop and me. I can go and make another pizza shop in Illinois, and I sign a lease with an owner. Theoretically, Illinois says you can go to jail because you signed 3 leases. You're brokering real estate here. You're acting like a realtor. I just signed a lease to another pizza shop. That's illegal. Jail, right? No. The thing is, Illinois wrote that law so you can't wholesale. But if you're going to do it for something that is not that, they're like, eh. And so Illinois wrote that law, but they don't enforce it at all because we have something called the Constitution Clause in the United States of America. And let me brag what the Constitution Clause is. Constitution Clause, USA. Oh, it's the contract clause. So the let's go here. Let me pop it up. Constitution Clause is Article 1, Section 10 of the United States Constitution. I believe in the Constitution. Some gurus don't, but that's just me. But it says, no state shall enter into a treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque or appraisal, coin money, emit bill of credit, makes sense, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. I'm not even getting into that one because that was part of the Constitution that we can only deal with gold and silver in debts, and then we get off this gold standard. But I'm not getting into that, all right? Let's not talk about that, okay? But it says pass any bill, ex facto law, or you can't pass any law impairing the obligation of contracts or to grant any title of nobility. So the Constitution Clause provides no state may pass a law impairing the obligation of contracts. And the law in the context may be a statute, constitution provision. All right. And so what this basically means, more or less, is you cannot stop people from creating. And there's also judicial decisions on this. And so let me see this one. What did Chief Justice Taft said? Obligation is the agreement where they come from the parties. The obligation comes from the law and makes the agreement binding on both parties. So that's how they've analyzed it. Chief Justice Marshall, I think Thurgood Marshall, did that. And so he's basically saying on this that, like, hey, you know what? You can't stop people from writing contracts. Impair the obligation are impaired by law. And so you cannot stop. All right. Private contract, naturally not all inclusive, obviously, but if it's a valid contract, the U.S. Constitution will protect it. Let's see. For municipal law. And so basically what it says here is it prohibits state governments from specifically creating legislation to usurp private contract rights. It is limited by the ability of state to however, limited by the ability of state governments to legislate and interfere with those rights under their police power. Now, police power does have a weird definition to it, but let's look up the definition of for states to regulate behavior enforced with their territory for the betterment, health, safety, or morals of general welfare. I don't think the police power will go into wholesaling, which obviously is not. It's basically, that's kind of a, what do they call that? They call that martial law. We're not in that. But basically what the U.S. Constitution allows us to do is it prohibits state governments from specifically legislating to interfere with private contract rights. That is the contract clause, Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution. And so when states create laws like Maryland and in Illinois, these states know they're doing that. But they don't enforce it because they know if it ever goes to court, they'll never win. And so people are just wholesaling in the states, no problem. They're actually just wholesaling there. And I don't know about that. But for most people, if it ever went to the court, they'd not win. We do have a conservative majority in the Supreme Court. And with them doing that, the conservative majority is usually, I'm not getting political, but a conservative majority in the Supreme Court will always ride to what the Constitution says. And the Constitution's pretty clear there that you can't stop people from going into private contract. And so Kentucky knows this, and Kentucky does believe in the Constitution. So they stopped you from advertising a contract, which is different than writing up a contract. Now, Maryland's trying to stop you from engaging in the purchasing of it or dealing with contracts on more than 2 occasions. And unfortunately, that law might probably pass, but there's ways around it. Most people just can get their license there, which honestly you might have to do if you want. But what I could say is it won't be enforced. I can guarantee it. There's not one person. There's not one. Okay. I've challenged every guru on this. There's not one wholesaler I know that has gotten in trouble from the Illinois law in 5 years. It's been 5 years since that law passed. Not one person has ever gotten in trouble because they know it's against the U.S. Constitution clause and they don't enforce it. That being said, Maryland, they're not going to enforce that one either. But just go around it. Just get a lawyer to sign off on everything and you'll be fine. But yeah, that's my thoughts on wholesaling regulation and laws. It's so insane. And, I've had not one person, and, people are like, people tell me, oh, but it doesn't matter. I don't care. Right. Constitution clause has us protected. So that's it for that. Let's answer some questions really quick and see how I can help the people out. And yeah. So Facebook says that's what's keeping me from Oklahoma. Like, I mean, because you listen to a broke guru and they're driving you crazy. This is something I don't like. Mississippi is a non-disclosure state. Oh my gosh, it's a non-disclosure state. What am I going to do? State, so you'll need a realtor for sure. Cam the man. You do not need a realtor for non-disclosure state. Cam the man. You go to listrei.com, listrei.com. You have access to all the MLS comps. Boom. Right? That's it. You have all the MLS comps on PropStream. So, duh. Right? It's just kind of funny, but yeah. I came from Zero says, can you speak on the new SMS you spoke about in your live cold calling yesterday? Sure. So let me break this down. So yeah, that new SMS, I'll talk about really quick and then we can get into some one-on-ones. But yeah, so yeah, there's an SMS platform out here that we took SMS Zach off for like 6 months because we really wanted to. We were having some problems with SMS where they were starting to limit how many texts I can do. The old SMSZach.com, nothing bad with it, but they started limiting us more. We kind of made our own custom platform with Twilio, and then Twilio's giving us problems. And then AI came about, and we were trying to use AI. We tried to get, integrations. I did for my personal business, right? And then I started talking to some more people, and I'm like, all these people are using this one platform. And then so it was a platform I've used for a while. I've definitely made over $500,000 with them when I was a teenager. And they were having some issues. So I went with someone else and then they kind of revamped everything. And for the past, I think 2 or 3 months, they've been insane. And we're slowly bringing people there because I don't want to pummel them too much. But it's basically, it's an AI platform where it basically will write your script for you. It will also make sure it has none of the bad keywords. This is smszac.com now. It is, and this is like, I've done months of research for this and case studies and bringing people through, making sure they're making a ton of money on it too before I'd even bring it to you guys. The best part about it's direct to carrier. There's not one SMS platform I know of in wholesaling that's direct to carrier. And I had to go look at their back end. I had to do the whole 9 yards, right? And it's insane. And so they're direct to carrier, which means there's no Twilio. Twilio's everyone on REI Reply right now. Not everyone, but there's been 4 prominent people that have reached out to me. They've gotten banned from Twilio. And so they got REI Reply. They got to get a new Twilio account. Nothing about those guys, but like I've seen that you're getting banned from platforms from texting too much. And it's so complicated. You got to build it all out. And then they all have that opt-in, click stop if you don't like it. And that just sucks for your texting. Like absolutely sucks. And so you have AI written scripts, direct to carrier, which means there's no click stop or whatever. No, none of that stupid stuff. You have no limit. So you can do 50,000 texts a day if you want. Now, obviously you have to pay for it, but like there's no limits, right? And it's no opt-out language. And you got AI writing as many scripts as possible. So your deliverability rate's almost, I think it's pretty much close to 100. Not close to 100, but it's up in the 90s because you have AI writing everything for you. It's just, the thing was, I wanted to take a couple more months on it and just really make a quick like 150K just in assignment fees from it. But I was like, you know what? With AI, I know for a fact that the gurus are going to start telling people to use it. And unfortunately, your competition is going to start using AI and you're going to kind of get caught behind with your SMS. So it's like, all right, we just got to let the people know. And so SMSZach.com is not live. It's launch control. And so by the end of this year, I'll be at $1 million in assignment fees with launch control. So we'll have a little celebration there. I can't say I did $1 million in assignment fees with launch control yet. $500,000 back in the good old days. And then I want to make another $500,000 this year with it. And I can tell you I'm in $1 million with it, but it's hands down the best one. Cash buyers, all of them. Because the AI is going to write your script. It's going to make sure you got none of the bad keywords. You can use the spinner tokens all day, but AI does the spinner tokens for you, kind of. No SMS limits, no Twilio, no opt-in, no stop language, none of this stuff. And with them, I'm going to have them start working with us, with everyone who signs up on SMSZach.com. They can have AI write scripts that I like. And so AI won't write the script exactly, but they'll switch it up so it's perfect. And I'm working with SMSZach.com for everyone that signs up with SMSZach.com. You'll be under my thing. And what that means is basically you'll get exclusive videos. You'll get all the videos you need at freeholding.com, even additional videos from it. But you'll have my whole AI system on there too for texting. So pretty cool. SMSZach.com. Took me a while because I really wanted to get it done perfectly. But yeah, it's not a lot of people knew about it, but it's insane. And so it's pretty much, texting's not the cheapest thing in the world, obviously. But for the people that do well, it's great. But the thing about it, all right. So first of all, I'll break that down a little later, but it's so funny because the cool part about SMSZach.com too is it's just, there's no limits on it. And that's kind of the point, right? And it's probably the cheapest texting platform still out there because it's direct to carrier. You don't have to use Twilio and you won't get banned. It's hands down super cheap. I think it's ridiculously cheap. I think most people have to pay 3 cents and then they have to pay on top of, so let me do the math here. Do this. So for me using it, it's about 3 cents a text, but you get the platform 3 cents a text, but it's free. So it's like, that's amazing. Right. And so for me, then you can get kind of a custom package a little cheaper that I'm probably going to start using it, but they're the best one out there, hands down. And obviously guys, if one platform starts lagging a little, I'll probably for SMS, I'm gonna use the best. I'm gonna tell you what the best is. And that's kind of the thing. It's amazing, right? So about 3 cents for it. Great skip tracing. I would say Batch is still the best skip tracer out there. But still it's amazing for it. But yeah, SMSZach.com, guys, you can't go wrong with it. I love it. And so 3 cents a record is basically free for it. And you get the AI, all this stuff. It's an app. It can run comps for you. It's great. I don't think you can beat it, right? Because APIs for AI is pretty expensive. And someone that knows that, it's great. So yes, speak on the new SMS about your live cold call. That is it. All right. And so let me just go crazy on something real quick. Robin, Maryland's proposed law says that the properties can't be assigned. Robin, you do not know what you're talking about. I just popped the law up. It says brokering, you can't broker if you don't have a license, and brokering is included assignment of contracts. It didn't stop the contract. Robin, you are literally listening from broke gurus. Even the gurus don't even say that. The gurus don't even go that far. Robin, I'm going to respectfully tell you that you are uttering complete nonsense right now. You are literally the problem that I've said about Oklahoma and Louisville. You are seriously the problem. And I'm doing a gentle tap to tell you, stop spewing lies. Robin, I can 100% tell you did not read the law. And people that don't read a law and they do the he said, she said, it's insane. So Robin, please actually read the law and you'll see it. It says what brokering is more than 2 engaging. And we've already said that's kind of it's not even enforceable at all. And the law is written so vaguely, you can just get around it pretty much. It's insane. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. stupid. Okay. But yeah, it's insane. Talk to a lawyer at a title company. It's free, and they'll literally tell you what to do. End of rant. All right. It's just so funny. But yeah, let's see. I don't think we have any more questions on here. So let's get into it. But yeah, guys, a lot of people are in non-disclosure states. If you want MLS comps, PropStream is going to be the best one out here for you. And then obviously too on dmzac.com, you got MLS comps too. So yeah. All right. So let's answer some questions, do some one-on-ones. If you want to hop on the one-on-one and talk to me absolutely for free, all you got to do is go to Wholesaling Houses for Real, my free real estate wholesaling group. And I'll talk to you absolutely for free. So how do you get on here? All right, let's go. See, Robin hasn't commented back. So she's probably going reading the law, which is nice. And then she can come back. My pet peeve, guy, my biggest pet peeve is when you say something that is absolutely false and you spread misinformation about wholesaling and you create fear that's not there. That is it. So you go to here at Wholesaling Houses for 90,000 members, 90,400. Shout out to the people. Featured right here on the top. Click here, streamer link right here. Click talk to me for free one-on-one. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it and let's get it. So first off, we got Cameron. Yo.
Hello. Hey, what's going on, Zach?
I'm blessed, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Definitely appreciate the information, everything that you're giving. A couple of quick, just one quick question. Just now started in the wholesaling. Started looking into it about a week ago, and right now I'm in the Greenville, South Carolina area. And I work. I'm a truck driver, and I just want to know, like, what can I do and how can I set up like time for me to actually, like, cold call and stuff, because I work like 13 and 12-hour days. So I'm just trying to see, like, what can I do to, like, so that can really benefit me, so I can definitely, like, talk to some potential sellers and buyers and stuff, and not just be tied up in my job and stuff and not have time to do that. So eventually I can leave my
I get
job.
it, man. I completely get it, right? I can tell you is you probably don't want to go from a long day of working and then go and cold call for 4 hours, right?
Right.
You probably don't want that. I'm just keeping it real, right?
Right.
I would say you have probably 2 to 3 good options.
Okay.
Right? And so number one, probably is not the favorite for you, but it's driving all day and then going in the car and keep driving and doing reverse driving for dollars. I only say that because it's 4 or 5 hours a week of driving, which I know sucks. I get it, but it's only 4 to 5 hours, and then the calls come inbound for you. So if you work all day, you can answer back those calls at night of the people doing inbound. That's pretty nice too. You can do SMS, but if you're on the road, it might be a little more difficult to do. Those are probably going to be the top 2 options for you. I just don't think you're going to be the person wanting to call all day. You can, obviously, more power to you. But I would say reverse drawing for dollars, drawing for dollars, and possibly cold calling a drawing for dollars list. That's only like $500 a month. That's probably going to be your best option, I would say.
Okay, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. Let me know if you need help.
Yes,
anything
sir.
else. Appreciate it. Boom. Oh, yeah. All right. What did I see here? Exactly. So many people giving a masterclass to charge you and take your money. Thanks for the free game. I saw this. I thought it was funny. Some person, they did this whole thing the other day. I think last week I saw it. They said, I'm going to give you a full presentation on how to find deals with $0 at all. And I'm like, oh, I would like to hear this. They're like, okay. First, all you got to do is sign up for my masterclass. And when you sign up for your masterclass, you're going to learn exactly the scripts to say and everything. It's $4,000, but just sign up for it. I'm like, what? They found a way to teach you how to wholesale for free by charging you money to learn what to do. And they said, pull probates. And if you want to learn how to pull probates, costs no money, it's free. Pay me money. I'm like, what? It's just so crazy. It's so crazy. It's like, I don't even get into it. It's so, these gurus are so ridiculous. And I can tell the gurus start listening because they start talking. Some gurus now, I see them, they get caught in corners. They're like, I don't have $5,000 to give you for your mastermind. How do I get deals for free? And they're like, pre-foreclosures. And then they like, what did Zach's video say again? And then literally, gurus are now doing this for the first time this month. Gurus are now telling people to do government lists and reverse trying for dollars. For the first time on record for a month, this month, they're now telling people to do government lists and reverse trying for dollars. It is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. They won't say the word government list because I coined that phrase. So they have to kind of say words and mumble them together. But the gurus are now starting to give the information I'm starting to give. It's taken 3.5 years, but now they're starting to accept that government lists are helping people out with no money. But if you want to learn it, you got to go under my little funnel so I can go sell you on my $4,000 program or kind of my $7,000 event, right? Like it's ridiculous. But these gurus never cease to amaze me. Joe.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, nice. So there's this property out in Detroit, actually. I'm trying to get my first deal, but so he used to work for the Genesee County Bank, the seller. Are you familiar with that?
The Genesee County Bank?
Yeah, it's like a bank out in Detroit, and they own a couple of houses out there.
Okay.
But the seller, he's also an investor, and he used to work for them. And he's saying he'd have to assign the property to me first, and then complete these tasks that he has to do. So he won the property in an auction, and he has to do like 10 things before.
Yeah, these are bank-owned properties, right?
Right. And
They're
then
what we
after
call REOs.
Okay.
Don't wholesale them.
Don't wholesale those?
There's too much risk.
Gotcha. That okay. That's all I had.
Yeah, I'd love to tell you, man. It sounds like this sexy thing. Pre-foreclosures will treat you a lot better because they don't have that problems.
I got you. All right,
man. Appreciate it. Mick. Jason.
Hey Zach, how you doing, man? I'm here.
Good. What's up?
Nothing much, brother. Just wanted to ask you a few questions. The first one is, do you think it's a good idea to call, say, like a private mortgage, like small businesses that are able to provide mortgages, to ask them if they have, mortgages that are currently in like default, and to see if that would be a good way to find leads. Maybe they're also distressed as well, and then you could, sort of help them out at the same time by calling those homeowners. And
it's called the notice of default list.
Okay.
In the list pendants.
Okay.
It's a free list. It's great.
All right. Awesome. Today. Okay. So I know you guys are familiar with Palm Beach County. Today I decided to take it up, and I went to go look at the probates. And
you go in person?
I did go in person, yes. And
that building's so cool.
Oh, it feels so good, man. I also went to the city of Lake Worth to go get like.
Have you ever watched Loki?
Loki, yeah.
Bro, it's like the TVA in there. It's insane.
No, it is actually. It is actually. It's no, it really is. Like, it's all marble and stuff. Yeah, it's really so nice.
Cool. Guys, if you ever watched Loki and you thought the TVA, the Palm Beach County Circuit Court looks just like the TVA. It's insane. It's like a retro modern. It's cool.
All their buildings.
What's up? How can I help you out? I don't rant about it, but yeah.
Yeah, no. So I just wanted to know if you guys if what I searched for was the petition of probate. Is that the right field I'm looking for? Because when I pull up the case type, I select probate, but there are so many different kinds of probate.
Go to wholesale.com. I actually went to Palm Beach and did the probates there. You can do it online. You don't have to go in person at all.
Oh, so for the information that I would need, I don't have to go in?
No, you do it online. Palm Beach is really easy.
Okay. And then I guess
that's not the best one for probates.
I'm sorry?
Hence why it's probably not the best one for probates. It's just so easy to get.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought Palm Beach was hard, but okay. And my last question is, I also tried getting. I went to the city of Lake Worth, and it seems like I learned something. Now, I'm not sure if this is pretty much common with everyone else, but it's like the clerk court. You're able to make requests through there. It, it, do you know if they're able to provide like just all records, so I could just request?
Ask.
Okay, just ask. Yeah.
Just
I
ask.
didn't want to. I didn't want to push the ladies when I went in, but yeah, that's
Push them. I
okay.
pay my taxes.
Very true.
Bro, I spent $8 on parking last time I had to go to the clerk of the court to file something for a rental property for me. All right. I spent enough money. They get enough of my money. Okay. They can answer my questions. $8. I was there for 15 minutes.
I feel you.
Ridiculous, dude.
Okay. And something that's probably none of my business, I tried asking in chat, but what does your like total marketing schema looks like? What's that number? Like where to all your markets via all your ads? What is that number, bro?
You want to know the number?
Yeah, I definitely do, man. It sounds like it's insane.
It's in the 5 figures. That's all I'm going to tell you. It ain't pretty.
That's insane.
It's in the 5 figures, but it's in the good 6 figures per month.
Okay.
But I'll tell you straight up, my top marketing right now is this YouTube channel. And I am in the 5 figures to just run this YouTube channel.
Well,
the editing, the equipment, everything. It's a lot of money. And so I don't even include that for my real estate marketing, but it's tens and tens of thousands of dollars just to have a YouTube channel like this. I don't think people understand this. I spend thousands of dollars a month just to host the bandwidth for freewholesaling.com. Okay. I'm almost at 6 figures a year just to have freewholesaling.com to just pay for people to watch it.
No, and that's
bandwidth
why
is expensive, bro. And so that's part of marketing for my JV deals. I don't even mention. So, dude, it ain't cheap, bro.
Actually, my girl and I were talking about it. I was like, dude, I hope they're using like the law of reciprocity, however you pronounce it. The fact that you guys are helping us, we can then bring what we've found through your help. I think it's genius what you guys are doing, honestly. But
I have
you guys
3 full-time editors that edit all videos for all the channels. 3 full-time, and they are the top of their class at what they do. No one understands the expense it runs to have free wholesaling content. Dude, it's insane, dude. If I didn't do JV deals, it would cost a lot of money. But it kind of even, I get so much wholesaling JV deals sent to me. It's insane. So, dude, I can include it, not include it, dude. It's stupid.
And what would you say comes after the YouTube then? Like direct mail or like Facebook ads?
Direct mail is going to be the most expensive one. I don't do Facebook ads.
Okay. All right.
I don't think people understand how expensive it is to run this channel and to run my marketing. But the amount of money I make's stupid, so I guess it offsets.
Yeah, no, but you guys work super hard for it, so it would only make sense.
Oh yeah. Any other questions?
No, that's it, brother. I'm having a brain freeze right now. So tomorrow, I guess.
All right. Sounds good, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, people don't get you got to understand, I have a course, all right, where I have over 100,000 people log on and watch hours and hours every single day. The cost of the bandwidth around the entire world, hundreds of thousands of people every single day watching hours and hours and hours of content. It's expensive. It is expensive to get through all that. And I have to pay a pretty penny for it. But that is the cost of free game on wholesaling. That's why nobody at my scale and nobody in wholesaling does free wholesaling content. No, because hundreds of thousands, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars just to give you free wholesaling content. It's insane. It is stupid, insanely expensive. And that's why nobody gives free wholesaling content. Nobody. Not one person outside me and Rick, because they don't have the cojones to go out here and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to lose money like that just to get free wholesaling content. Now, the amount of JV deals I do, makes up very well. But obviously from there, it's kind of funny. But yeah, it's no one talks about that, right? Because most gurus have a course. They got 1,000 people, like, I don't know, $150 a month to host that day, hundreds of thousands watching hours. It's insane. But I like to do wholesaling my way. I like to teach it my way, and I know doing it the way we're doing it, it's definitely worth it. But yeah, I don't think I revealed that too much, but yeah, we got 3 full-time editors. Insane. And they cost a lot of money. They work 40 hours a week, 3 of them. It's insane. And so at any given moment, for 120 hours a week, someone's editing videos. Remember, guys, I have 4 YouTube channels. I have Flip with Rick. I have Zach Ginn YouTube channel. I have the Rick Ginn YouTube channel. I mean, he has it, but we're all together on this one. And then the Wholesaling Houses for Real YouTube channel. Combined, we have like 115,000 subscribers on all of them. So there's a lot of people watching, right? And it's insane. But guys, it's not cheap to give you wholesaling real estate stuff for free. But the honest truth is, I completely think it's worth it, because every $100,000 I spend, so every $100,000 I spend, I know it's another flex on a broke wholesaling guru. And the fact that I know nobody else can do what I'm doing, it gives me it makes me feel good. I take great pride in the fact that no one's willing to do what me and Rick are willing to do, because we are willing to do something that nobody else in the wholesaling game is willing to do. No other real estate investor, no one, nobody. Why do you think, how expensive it is to run this stuff? Why do you think every person has to go beg for 10 grand from you? It's so stupid. I don't have to do it. I give it to you for free. And it's insane. And so, like, when you look at like Netflix and stuff, I want people to understand this. Like, when you look at Netflix, their big expense is just hosting the servers, because everyone's on their TV watching it. Someone's got to host that content, and to actually have the bandwidth of people going on the content and like dealing with it, it's expensive. It's crazy. But yeah, I think it's worth it. That's why we do what we do, and that's why we help the people out, and that's why we get it all for free. And so if you like what we're doing, if you kind of like what I do is stupid. For the average person, it is absolutely stupid what I do. And me and Rick are the only ones crazy enough to do it. And so if you like this, you want to support us, make me spend more money and go to freewholesaling.com. I'll have to probably spend some money on your bandwidth by you going on to freewholesaling.com and watching more videos, but whatever, on there. And so it's so funny. But go there. Also, on top of that, you can go to freewholesaling.com. You can subscribe to all the channels we got. Follow us on all of our social medias. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to talk about tomorrow. Good video with me and Rick, so it'll be a really fun one. But I want to get my top 25 virtual wholesaling markets. I want people to go after it. I want people to go choose it. Don't feel like you have to choose a top 5 market. You can choose a top 25 market. It doesn't matter. But by you choosing that market, it will help you out tremendously. I promise you that, right? So pick a good market, go after it, stick to it. Go to freewholesaling.com. I think so many wholesalers right now feel like this analysis paralysis, whatever it's called, they feel like that's stopping them. But for everyone watching this, if you go to freewholesaling.com, you learn the action plan guide, you learn what marketing channels to do, what lists to pull, and you just create an action plan. I'm going to do this at this time and this at this time, and you actually implement discipline in your life. There's nothing that's going to stop you from wholesaling success. The people that are successful in this business always choose discipline. They always do the hard thing. But if they do it over time and they have patience, it will lead to tremendous, tremendous wholesaling success. So I appreciate everybody giving our love and support on the YouTube channel. I appreciate everyone going out here and supporting Wholesaling Houses for Real, the Facebook group, all my stuff. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. So guys, go to freewholesaling.com. If you got a deal, send over to sellmypaper.com. That's how you go out here and send me wholesaling real estate deals. And last one, guys, if you get a DM from me talking about trading or crypto or something stupid like that, it's a fake account. Okay, like don't deal with that, right? I have an Instagram. It has 195,000 followers. It's a lot. It's cool though. If you get a DM from me and it doesn't have that many followers and it's telling you to go buy some, they're fake. Okay, There's fake comments on YouTube all the time, a fake Flip with Ricks, fake Zach Gins. Guys, just know I will never ask for money for you, and never. Okay. And so don't do that. All right. I've had people saying, oh, Zach, I buy my wholesaling course. I'm like, no, don't do that. That's stupid. Right. So don't do it. So Zach Ginn signing out. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe.